Now at 5, a former assistant district attorney is accused of bribery involving sexual favors.
A key immigration policy under the Trump administration goes before the U.S. Supreme Court. I'm Natalie Brand in Washington with the arguments and the question before justices.
And efforts to make the trucking industry more green.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A former Oklahoma assistant district attorney is charged with bribery, accused of accepting sex favors in exchange for legal assistance. This is KOAM News at 5. 44-year-old Daniel Giraldi of Joplin worked in the district attorney's office for District 13, that's Ottawa and Delaware counties of Oklahoma. Court documents show prior to working in the DA's office, Giraldi worked for a private law firm and began accepting sexual favors from women in exchange for helping others facing criminal charges. Authorities arrested Giraldi in Quapaw when he met with a woman who was an FBI informant. Giraldi is charged with bribery of a public official, interstate travel in aid of racketeering, and possession with intent to distribute a controlled substance. You can read the entire probable cause document on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly's plan to axe the food tax has been struck down by Republican lawmakers. The motion would have food sales tax in the state go down to 0. Republicans against the measure say they worry it could put the state into a tailspin. Thrive Allen County, a nonprofit aimed at bettering the health of the county, says there's a need for this in Kansas to help get more food on the table for families. We're going to have more on that for you tonight at 6. Kids at a local shelter now have new playground equipment. Children's Haven in Joplin provides a temporary home for kids whose families are experiencing a crisis. Well, today the nonprofit hosted this ribbon cutting to unveil new and improved playground and outdoor facilities for the kids to enjoy.
To come out here, to put your feet on the playground, to see the equipment, the safety, the lighting that's put in, it's just fantastic. It's a wonderful feeling, and we're so excited for Children's Haven.
The playground expansion project took 6 years and was funded by donations from the community. Nice weather today after a cold night. Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we had a frosty start across the region. Most of us dropped back into the mid to upper 30s for overnight lows, but a nice day. Plenty of sunshine across the region. Not too much is going on here. We look pretty calm as we go through the evening into the overnight hours for us tonight. Temps right now, not bad. Anywhere from mid to upper 60s to even lower 70s once you get down across northeastern parts of Oklahoma. Kind of an easterly wind. These winds are going to continue to switch out of the south as we go through the overnight hours tonight. What that will do is help our temperatures warm up even more by the time we head into Wednesday. Nice evening, drop back through the 60s, 50s. Chilly again, not frosty chilly, but lower 40s for overnight lows. Thunderstorms return by Thursday. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
See you then. Russia has stepped up its attacks on railways in Ukraine in an attempt to stop the flow of weapons into that country. This comes as Russia's foreign minister has accused the U.S. and NATO of conducting a proxy war against Russia. He then warned of the West, told them not to underestimate the very significant risk of nuclear war. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, fresh off a trip to Kyiv this weekend, is on Capitol Hill today asking Congress for more money to keep the flow of weapons going to Ukraine. The U.S. Supreme Court today heard arguments regarding the Biden administration's push to end his predecessor's so-called Remain in Mexico policy. It requires migrants to stay outside of the U.S. while their asylum claims are decided. Meanwhile, a separate legal fight is underway over the pandemic rule known as Title 42. That gives immigration officials the authority to turn away migrants at the border over public health concerns. Natalie Brand reports from Capitol Hill, where federal lawmakers are also weighing in.
A key immigration policy under former President Trump returned before the Supreme Court Tuesday.
Safe, not stranded.
The Biden administration is arguing they have a right to end what's been called the Remain in Mexico policy, requiring migrants at the southern border to wait outside of the United States while their asylum claims are heard.
DHS detains tens of thousands of individuals
on any given day. Respondents' interpretation that would remove any discretion would mean that DHS can't take account of that limited capacity in making prioritization decisions.
Texas and Missouri sued to keep the program in place, arguing that ending it would violate federal immigration law passed by Congress.
The Biden administration, just like the rest of us, have to follow federal law. They either have to detain them or send them back to their country of origins.
Meanwhile, a separate legal battle is underway over Title 42, which allows border officers to turn away most migrants seeking asylum because of the COVID-19 pandemic. President Biden wants to wind down Title 42 next month, though a Louisiana federal judge has said he'll temporarily block that, siding with a Republican-led challenge.
We'll have a temporary restraining order that gets us to May 13th. May 13th will be the hearing on the preliminary order that we hope to obtain as well.
On Capitol Hill, opposition to the administration's push to end Title 42 has some bipartisan support.
With the health crisis, we can't take any more chance of people coming undocumented and unchecked.
Some Republican lawmakers have called for a Title 42 amendment to be added to any attempt to pass additional COVID-19 aid. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
In a memo released today, the Department of Homeland Security acknowledges it anticipates an increase in migration level once Title 42 is lifted. Secretary Mayorkas outlined his department's plan to prepare, which includes surging personnel and resources to the border, expanding migrant processing capacity, and enforcing consequences for migrants crossing the border illegally. He's scheduled to testify before Congress later this week. Still ahead, expanding access to a weapon against COVID.
The Biden administration is trying to make it easier for Americans to get access to a pill to treat COVID. I'm Wendy Gillette. I'll tell you what's being done.
And the possible link between calcium and heart valve disease. Those stories next in Health Watch. Some encouraging COVID news tops today's Health Watch. The White House is unveiling new plans to make a pill to treat COVID-19 available to millions more Americans. Supply of the potentially life-saving medication has rapidly improved in the U.S., but officials say the drug is sitting on some pharmacy shelves. Wendy Gillette reports.
The Biden administration is taking steps to enable more Americans to get easy access to Pfizer's COVID treatment pill, Paxlovid.
We want to lower the severity of the disease that people get if they get infected, and we want to lower the hospitalizations. We want to lower deaths.
The drug, which has been authorized for high-risk patients as young as 12, has been shown to reduce hospitalization and death from the virus by 90% if taken within the first 5 days of infection.
Treatments like these, vaccines that we have developed, these are the key essential tools that we're going to need to get through the rest of this pandemic.
Now that there's ample supply, the White House wants to make Paxlovid more available to lower-risk patients. Pharmacies can order the antiviral treatment directly from the federal government. Currently, 22 pharmacies nationwide, including this CVS in the heart of Manhattan, offer one-stop shopping, COVID testing, a medical assessment, and a prescription for the antiviral pills.
We expect with this change that we will very quickly get to 30,000, and within the next couple of weeks, I expect us to get to about 40,000 sites.
As BA2, a subvariant of Omicron, continues to circulate in multiple states, Vice President Harris has tested positive for COVID-19.
Individuals who test positive for here, and I can speak to this 2 times over, there you go. You don't return to work until you have received a negative test.
A statement released Tuesday from her press secretary says the vice president, who is fully vaccinated and boosted, has exhibited no symptoms and has not been a close contact to the president or first lady due to their respective recent travel schedules. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, New York.
New findings from the CDC show more than half of all Americans and around 3 in 4 children have now contracted the virus. States are scaling back on reporting COVID-19 data. Some experts worry less frequent reporting could stall efforts to delay outbreaks. 1 year ago, all 50 states were reporting new cases daily. Now, half of states report once a week, and Florida is down to every 2 weeks. And a new study links calcium supplements to earlier death in older people with heart valve disease. Researchers at the Cleveland Clinic found the supplements seem to make the condition worse. Calcium supplements are frequently given to older people to reduce the risk of bone fractures. New brain stimulation treatments seem to help smokers quit. New research in the journal Addiction found smokers who received non-invasive brain stimulation had a higher likelihood of being able to give up smoking than smokers who received a simulation of the treatment. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, efforts to put more eco-friendly trucks on the road.
Plus thunderstorms back in the forecast. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be a very cold start. We had some frost across the region, especially areas along the north of Interstate 44, but pretty good afternoon as we warmed into the 60s to near 70 degrees. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri, but pretty much clear skies. That's what we are going to see as we go through the rest of the evening hours. Allergies. This is mainly the tree allergies this time of the year, but on a scale of 1 to 10, today's an 8, tomorrow's a 9. So if you are an allergy sufferer, you're going to be suffering just a bit over the next few days. But temperature's pretty good. Mid 60s to lower 70s, northeastern parts of Oklahoma, at least warmer than what we have seen over the past couple days. And the winds are light, so it's not too windy outside. We have these kind of light easterly winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. These are going to actually switch out of the south and then kind of start to pick up a bit as we go through the next couple days. 65 easterly winds at about 5 to 10. Humidity is bone dry. It's at 28% through the evening hours. Slide back through the 60s, 50s, 40s. So chilly again, just not as cold as what we did have during the morning hours for us today. Clear skies, nothing going on across the entire Central Plains. In fact, if you look west, you don't find anything until you get out across the Pacific Northwest. That's the beginnings of our next storm system, which will start to affect us by late tomorrow night into Thursday morning. Until then, we're smooth sailing. Tonight, lower 40s. We're going to warm up nicely. Warmer tomorrow. We're going to go into lower 70s during the afternoon. Here's your day planner starting at 44, 65 by noon. High temp, 72, southerly winds, kind of breezy at about 10 to 20. Here come the clouds tomorrow night. We can stop at about 7 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms. Not too strong, not severe. Scattered thunderstorms. Could get some heavy amounts of rain Thursday morning. Once we get into Thursday afternoon, we'll see a few more trying to regenerate. So here's 7 p.m. So these guys, they may be a little bit stronger. They may start to hit that threshold of severe by Thursday evening, Thursday night into Friday morning. So very loud nights, plenty of showers and thunderstorms all the way through Friday morning. And then once we get into Friday afternoon, we have another severe weather setup as our main system rolls across central Kansas, and we'll have to see if any thunderstorms can get going. We're going to have a very strong cap or a lid on the atmosphere. Thunderstorms don't like to get through that cap. So if the cap is in place, we're not going to get anything. But if that cap can break, we're going to have some issues Friday evening. 72 for us tomorrow, 70 on Thursday, 75 on Friday. Thunderstorm chances, plenty, starting late tomorrow night, really just about each and every day as we head into the first week of May.
I'm hoping for the cap to hold.
Yeah, you know, and most likely it will. We've been lucky so far this season, but we just need to keep our eyes on it.
Yeah, eventually we will get some severe weather. It's
absolutely
inevitable. Thanks, John. Cleanup efforts are underway after powerful storms tore through northeastern Ohio yesterday. The storms left twisted metal, splintered wood, and scattered debris. Lots of it, as you see. There have not been any reports of injuries. Hey, remember, as we head more and more into severe weather season, now is the time to get the Skywatch Weather App. Severe weather alerts, the latest forecasts, and a whole lot more. It's all right there in the palm of your hand. Best part, it's free. You'll find it in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Again, just search for the Skywatch Weather App. Let's take a look at our tower camera, sponsored by R.E. Smith Construction, as work continues on the KOAM More Power project. Check it out anytime on our website, koamnewsnow.com/power. Coming up, the trucking industry going green. First, though, we honor a local military veteran. Virginia Dunn served in the military as a nurse during the Korean War. Her hometown, Asbury, Missouri. And we are proud to salute Virginia Dunn, a four-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, electric and hybrid vehicles are becoming more popular in the U.S. Well, now there's a push to get more green trucks on the road. Dina Demetrius reports.
Jeremiah Glover is on the road again.
Okay, now we're on.
But you won't hear the engine roar in his new truck. Glover is driving a rig that runs on hydrogen-powered fuel cells with zero harmful emissions.
The quietness of it, you don't hear nothing besides the e-motors running. It's totally different, but a difference for the good, in my opinion.
Glover works for Total Transportation Services in Los Angeles. Tony Williamson is the Director of Sustainability.
We will be a zero-emission company, just a matter of time.
The company is testing not only hydrogen fuel cells, but also battery-powered electric vehicles.
The charger fits right in here.
In 90 minutes or so, you said?
90 minutes.
But Williamson says going green comes with challenges. Right now, the trucks are used for short runs because electric vehicles can only get around 250 miles on a charge. Fuel cells can go further, but hydrogen isn't readily available outside of LA. Then there is the cost.
Conventional diesels come in with tax license about $145,000 to $150,000. So these trucks are more like $400,000 to $500,000.
TTSI hauls goods from Los Angeles area ports, which recently announced that only zero-emissions trucks will be allowed starting in 2035.
We have to roll up our sleeves. There's a lot of work, a lot of money needs to be had, but we've laid the roadmap.
Several other ports across the country are pushing for carbon neutrality in the coming decades. Williamson believes it can be achieved.
As the companies begin to accept this technology, then that's going to drive the prices down on everything, infrastructure, truck costs, insurance, because you have more of them out there.
If the current testing of eco-friendly trucks goes well, TTSI could buy around 100 vehicles this year and many more down the road. Dina Demetrius, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The Corvette is going electric. General Motors says a hybrid model of the iconic car should be available next year with a fully electric version coming sometime in the future. GM has previously announced plans to spend $35 billion to produce electric vehicles and wants all of its vehicles to be emissions-free by 2035. A new report from Savings.com finds half of parents with a child over age 18 have provided some sort of financial safety net for their adult kids. The survey found that in 2020, the number of boomerang kids spiked to a historic high because of the pandemic, a tough job market, student loans, housing costs, and now inflation. And about 62% of these young adults do not contribute to household expenses at all. A final check of the forecast up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, a look at possible carcinogens that could be in your drinking water. Then on KOAM News at 6, Thrive Allen County reacts to the Kansas legislature's decision to not cut the state's grocery tax. Plus, benefits of the playground expansion at Joplin's Children's Haven, and an update on the case of a Missouri teen killed on an amusement park ride in Florida. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. All right, take a look at this dash cam video from a police car in Vermont. A chair flew off the back of a pickup truck right into the windshield of the patrol car. Boom! This was on an interstate south of Burlington. No one was injured, but police say the police car has significant damage. The pickup truck driver, he received a ticket for having an unsecured load. Can you imagine, Doug? You're driving down the interstate. You see in your rearview mirror that a car has flown out of the back of your pickup truck. Mm-hmm. So your heart stops there. You see it hits another car. That's two. And you see that it is a patrol car that it hits.
Yeah, that's never, if that's going to happen to you, you definitely don't want it to be to a patrol car.
No. Fortunately, no one hurt, but I think that was a lesson well learned.
Absolutely.
The weather.
Chilly again tonight, but not frosty. 72 tomorrow. Tomorrow looks great. 70 on Thursday. Dodging thunderstorms throughout the day. Really chances for thunderstorms each and every day.
Of course, because it's that time of year. Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we'll be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.